Welcome to our Z tutorial. Technology made simple for teachers and students and all tech enthusiasts. Today we want to talk about calculation formulas in Excel. Of course, sometimes it surprises me because of some things, but let me show you before I talk too much on it. Here, this is our E, right? I want to do a calculation. Let's say I want to do our tax income calculations. Let me clear this so I can use this for that. Okay. You clear everything here. Of course, I told you how to. You can use clear, right? So you can clear direct, or if you want to clear only one particular aspect, you know where to go. So I've cleared everything. I want to use this for taxable income. Now, if I click on this, remember in Excel you start with equals to, and that is what baffles me. You start with equals to. Alright, you know why it baffles me? Because when I was in secondary school, even throughout my tertiary education, you notice that this is what we do, this is what we learned under variables. Y is equals to, or if you talk about board mass, or you're talking about 2 plus 2 is equals to. So equals to always come in between and later on, but not from the start. But in Excel, equals to must always start from the start. But in a sense, it makes sense because if you also understand it very well, you know that what you are saying is also sensible. Why do I say so? Now, minus right equals to, I assume that I want to times this ID by this. It's just an assumption, or not an assumption. Let's do it. So I will assume that if I type this it has a number. This is number A, right? This is A. So it's done because for this array. So let me remove all of this. So this is A, and this number here, this is C, right? This is C. So just assume that there is A and C there. And then you write equals to, and then you use your 1, which is 1 here. And to use your times, we will use times right now. Times is asterisk, okay? And my asterisk is on number 8, so I will press shift and press 8. That is the asterisk. This stands for multiplication, times, okay? So it should be 1 times 15, right? Assuming this is 15, it should be 1 times 15. And if I press enter, it will give me the exact answer. Look at it, 15. You see it? So in my mind, I know that already there is already 1 plus this that led to that. Okay, this is one way you can actually calculate in Excel. But this way, do very good, but may take a whole lot of time. Imagine using them after the other, maybe using this number. What if the number is so big? When you start typing number, maybe you make a mistake on the number along the line. So that is why there is the simplest way for you to do this. And as usual, you first type your equals to. Now, if you check, I told you before that this is 1 and this one is under A, A1, right? But if you've forgotten this where it is, you don't need to worry yourself. That is why we have the class name. If you check here, this is the name, it is the name. So the moment you bring your mouse, let's put it to A1 so you understand. What do you see? It will show you A1. Okay, remember we did it at the initial class. The first class we did, we'll learn about the class. Okay, we'll show you this, so you don't need to worry about it. Just go up, look up, you see where you are. Yes, the same name that you are. So if I use A1, I also do asterisk, same asterisk, which is number 8. Then I want to task it with what? C1. So I put my C1 and I press enter. You see, give me the same thing. Okay, I know what it's a mistake, but let's correct it right away. Equals to A1, which is this. So it's not A1, it's A2. That's why I'm having a problem. A2, okay, A2, because already A1 has the names, but this is A2. Look at the 2 here, and it always check your class name. The class name will always show you where it is. So it's A2. Then we are going to task it with what? Task it with our C2. Okay, C2. And the moment you press enter, it's going to give you the same answer, 15. And this is the standard way for calculation. You still have so many other ways that you can apply the formula, but for now, understand this. As we progress, you know. And if you have got lots of any cell you are, just click on the cell like this particular cell, which is a C3. Now, if you look up, you see it there, C3. Look at it, C3 on our class name. And that's the beauty of this class name. Enable you to know where you are at every point in time. Let's assume that you've already have a lot of time, a lot of Excel sheet, because this is just a sample, maybe millions. You know, talking about a company. Maybe even if it's a shortcut, but you may have a lot of data. So what help is the class name here, okay? So now you put your mouse there, look up and check the name, it will show you where you are. So you use that name, go to the next name, you're going to task, click your mouse there, it show you there, then you task it, and you got your calculation right. Okay, so let's move on. If you check very well, we actually achieve the same result like the first one, right? Of course. So you might be wondering, why am I now taking this time of going through this kind of formula? Of course, it has an advantage. And very soon in HGV now, I will show you the advantage. But then let me explain something to you right now. This figure that we have here, there's another simplest way you can do it. For example, let's come to the second one. Let's say I want this 15, and this is this. So how do I just write my equals to as usual. Put your equals to. Then you take your mouse, bring your mouse to this. Okay, click on it. What does it do? The minute you click on it, there's a right C3. Did you notice it? Of course you do. Then the next thing you do, you put the formula. Okay, hold your shift key and put this formula, which is asterisk. And mind you, asterisk for multiplication, right? Thanks. But you can also use addition, subtraction, division. Division is just your normal chunk. Your plus is there, your minus is there. All of them works here, okay? So what applies to one applies to the other. So don't, because I use multiplication, then it's just for multiplication alone. No, it's for all calculation, okay? Let me say your board mass, okay? So if you know your board mass, any of them can function here and work very well. So I put my series, which is my multiplication, and I bring my mouse again to the second one, which is this. I click on it, and it's recognized D3. Now, if I press enter, you see the results. You ask yourself, why is it able to find these things? It's because what we call relative cell index is that it's not just using the number like this number 15, that number 1, 2, 3. No, that's not what it's seeing. It's seeing the relativity. It's seeing that, okay, if I count my first two in my left, I have 15, and I count my other first one in my right, I have 1, 2, 3, which is D. Which is D what? Which is D3. So if I now multiply them together, I got my answer. That is what Excel reason. And then after that, we get this answer. So based on that, Excel no longer look at the figure they are putting there. We're looking at what is on that cell. But if I change this number now, let me change it to 10. You will see that calculation will also change immediately. You see it now. But as we use the first one, which we are using just 15 times 134. If you change it to 10 or anything, it will affect. Nothing will show. The whole thing is the barrel, so to say. Okay, so that is why it's always good for you to use the formula. So let me take it back to 15. Okay, now after calculating this, before now, some of us, what will you do? You just keep on calculating one after the other like this, or using that second method and doing one after the other. No. Remember what we talked about before now about your auto shift. Okay, auto foil handle and arrow. You can also call it arrow foil handle. Okay, so it can also work perfectly here. So if you select this for instance now and bring your auto foil handle here, you see that once you drag it down, it will also work perfectly. At the end of the day, we give you all the calculation. Or some people might also decide to use the longer version again. Okay, I don't know how to calculate something to be doing. I know I can copy this. Maybe just copy only this one, and then after copying, you select all to the end, and what do? You just paste, and it will also give you the same calculation. Of course, all this work with Excel. All these are ways you can use to do formula calculation with Excel. But there is a simplest way, and I want to show you that simplest way right now. If I come over here, click over here, and you bring your mouse to your auto click, you see how perfectly it will go without wasting time. Let me show you in a jiffy. So I bring my mouse to the auto field finder, and what do? I just double click. Okay, what must I double click? What do you see? The whole number. Take it straight to the end, and it gives me all the calculations straight to the end. Assuming this number is in millions, in billions, just double clicking like that, you've gotten all your answer. It is the easiest way. But you may wonder, why was he able to do this? Yeah, like I told you before now, because Excel is using relative cell index and not absolute cell index. Relative cell index means that Excel will just come over. It doesn't see the number. It's not after the number you're writing there, but it's after the cell index. The cell's there. It count to the left. The number is there. It check to the second one on the left and calculate it, and then multiply it together. And when you go to the next one, you know that this is another stage, this is another, this something. So that's like calculating. And within a jiffy, within a second, he gave you all your answers. Did you get this? Let's continue. So hope you understand the explanation. Am I too fast? It's very simple. Let me bring my mouse and explain more. If you come over here, I double click here, what do you see? You see C5 multiplied by D5. What did Excel see? Excel see 2 cells to the right, to the left, multiplied by 3 cells to the left. That was what you see. And if you leave that one now and come over to the last one, which is the second one, or many places, let's come over here, double click. What you said, you see that number have changed to C8. You count 2 cells from the left and then to 3 cells multiplied by 3 cells to the left, and that is C8 times D8. So that's why I keep on timesing and calculating it just immediately. That's why you're able to get the answer immediately, even ahead of you. Now compare this to when you are doing the other way. Maybe you are copying, after copying, you now start selecting like what most of us do. You copy, let's say you copy here, you come over here, right Ctrl C for copy. After that, you now come over here and then start selecting. What if these figures are in millions? How many are you going to select? Won't it take your time? I mean, after selecting, now write Ctrl V for paste. So this way, if you understand this formula, if you can use this method, it makes things easier for you. Or let's assume that you want to start dragging. You want to use your autofill index and then start dragging it. Maybe for here you put your mouse there, you put your this here and you start dragging. No, you're making your job to be taskful. And maybe at the end of the day you get bored. Any mistake in the copying, any mistake in the dragging, it affects the whole work. You start all over again. But using this simplest method, this quickest method, it becomes very easy for you. So let's move on to the next class and move ahead. We've talked about relative cell index a lot. Let's move on to absolute cell index. And for us to do that, let's go to tasks to be paid. Now in tasks to be paid, let's assume that the figure of tasks, the number of tasks, the rate of tasks should be 0.03. Okay, so task rate, let me put it, task rate. Just go to number H and says 0.0, let's say 00 or 9 or 8, 0.008. Let's assume that way. So let me just increase a little here. You know how to increase in the quickest possible way, right? I'm going to use that. So let's also increase this one a little here. So 0.008. Now if you check, why is it? It's on our H1, right? H1, if you check by its H1. So I want to calculate the task to be paid. And I come over here. How do I do it? As usual, I put my equals to. Then I use E2, right? E2, same multiplication, multiply by, this time around, H1, right? H1. So I put H1. And always note one thing, maybe I didn't tell you in the other class. Each time you are selecting, Excel will always give you this sign. See, selection sign, you know that, yeah, this is sign. So if you check if the two signs are highlighted, you know what you are calculating. So that means you put a wrong figure, you'll be able to know that it is a wrong figure. Because I also told you about our class name, always come over to check the name. And for the name, you know if it's right or wrong for the same name. So what do I do? I press enter, and it gave me an answer, $14.76 or naira, or whatever that this guy is going to pay. But notice one thing. We told you that here, you can just copy and paste it, and it will work. Or you come over here, and what do? You double click, and it works. What happened? What do you see? You see 0.00000. It didn't work. How come? Why did it not work? We did it here and it works. Why is it not working here? Can you think why it's not working? Why? If you think very well, you understand that we told you that here. Why make Excel to calculate this? Because we're using relative cell index, okay? Relative index, cell index. But look at this. Here, take a look at it and see what Excel is doing. Double click on it. Use what Excel is doing. Excel know that this is E4, right? This is E4. And E4 should follow what? H2, as usual. But it came to H2, nothing is on H2. So what can he do? Nothing. He didn't see anything there. He sees 0 there. So it has to give you 0. Because, so if you also check any of them, you check, you find the same problem. Excel come over there, you look at the E6, he went to the H4, nothing is there. He didn't see anything. He gave you 0. Okay? So, and that is how you found out where you got all the 0, 0, 0. It wasn't as if there is an error, no, or Excel you understand, you know. But he actually did his work, but there's no figure there. But I think that we did like the other one, we were putting all the figures. You know, you put H1, you put H2, you put A1, D1, I1, you know, stuff like that. You see this 15, you see the 134, 15, you see 123. So you can easily check it, and be giving your answer. But for this one, no, because we already take our calculation up there. And this is what we call absolute cell index. To correct this error, to correct this mistake, you can come over here, but I don't like correcting any or writing formula here in correction, editing. Let me do editing formula here. That's why I have, you know, in our first class I told you about this bus. I told you if you have forgotten it, go back to the first class where we explain introduction to Excel. Okay, so here is where I want to do my work. What are we going to do now? We want to bring Excel brain out of relative to absolute. Let's try to make Excel understand that if you want to calculate further, that you should look up here to get the calculation for every other one, because this one is fixed. It's fixed. It's not like this that it's moving up and down. So that's what I want to tell Excel right away. So I come over here. Sorry, I didn't make mistake. I didn't make mistake. So I come over here, and how do I tell Excel that to do that? Remember, we are still working on H1. That is what it's calculating on. So I'll just come over here. Before, after the multiplication, I put a dollar sign. Put a dollar sign. Then after H, before 1, put a dollar sign. So with this dollar sign, they will be able to know what he's doing, right? It's supposed to be here. I don't know. Okay, let's just see if it works. If it didn't work, I'll go back. Okay, it works. So now Excel will now focus on absolute cell index. Excel will now know that if I want to calculate this, I will use this 3510. It doesn't have a figure. What is concerned is E. I will use my E4 times H1. H1 is fixed up there. So let's now go ahead and do it and see if it will work. Okay. You may start to clean this one, I may start not to clean it, but of course it will definitely work. But if you are cleaning it, what if the number is in millions? If you are able to clean all of them, so you can just use your Ctrl Z to go back and then do the right thing. So come over here, as usual, put your stuff here and double click. What did you see? Is it working? Are you understanding it? At this juncture, I want to beg you to please subscribe to this channel. Subscribe, because we have a lot. We are going far. Subscribe, like, share, comment. Share with everyone who wants to know about Excel. Okay. Remember, the goal of this class is to teach you not just a beginner in Excel, but going to teach you in a way that you even become good in data analyst. Okay. Those who are aspiring to be a data analyst, those who are already an accountant, maybe junior officer, payroll officers, clerical officers, it has to do with calculation. That is the goal. So help us to share this. Let people know about this class and let them come and join and learn from this, because we are still going far. So let's continue our calculation and continue our formula. But hope you subscribe. If you haven't, please do it now. Subscribe, like and share. Possibly turn the notification button. Right time we release a class, we release a training, you'll be the first to see it. And mind you, also have a training group in our WhatsApp. You can join the community now, because they can ask us questions, we can interact with you, can discuss with you. You see people of like mind, share ideas together and grow together. Thank you once again. And if I don't want this class to be too long, I think we're going to stop here and then maybe move ahead in subsequent class. Okay. So before we wrap up the class, let us what we did and see if it works. If you double click here, yeah, it did work. 0.0. So if you double click here, everything did works. But you also need to remember, you need to note one thing, that sometimes these things that you did now, it may, like the way we talk about a relative and absolute, you may also have partial relative and partial absolute. Okay, you may have partial relative and partial absolute, and when that happens too, you may remove the first hash here and to also work for you. Okay, so that is what I want to point out to you for you to remember. So don't forget that. And also, sometimes as you're working with Excel, you may make mistake. You might make mistake. That's why nobody is perfect. Everybody makes mistake. For example, let's say here I want to work on this. I click on it, and instead of me to test it by the H1, let's say I decide to test it by 0, or multiply by 0 or divide by, let's say divide by 0. Let me use division. Let's say I will be using multiplication L3, divide by 0, and I press enter. What do you see? You see it. This is a sign. Is it trying to tell you that, oh, you've made a mistake? And this kind of mistake, to correct it, always go to your FS to correct it. Okay. Sometimes to exam decide to offer correction. Let's say you want to do it here, but exam will try to correct and tell that this way I'm doing this wrong. Let me remove it and see if I can. The one that will offer me correction, and maybe you try to you see it. What do you see? You say this is a warning, trying to let you know that you've made a mistake. Now you may even decide to offer correction for you. If you decide to take their correction, if you notice that what they are saying is correct, well, but if it's not correct, you also have to abide by it, go back and do the right thing. Okay? Do the right thing. So don't forget that. Now, before we wrap up this class, let me just show you the last thing that I want you to know. The last thing I want you to know is that this range or this cell, you can actually give him a name. Yeah. Of course, he has a name up here, right? You can actually give him a name. First, if I click here, I told you the name there is there, F2, right? But I can actually give all the whole cell a name. Let me select all of them, all the range from A to Z, and give them a name. Okay, let's say that is the end. Now, if I want to name them, you come over here and remove this class name that was given. Let me name it like Tarsis owned. Tarsis owned. If you are naming it, don't put a space. Okay. So now, if you check here now and click on it, what do you see? It will give it Tarsis owned. And if I'm searching for it, let's say I want to, maybe I've forgotten it and I want to look for it. Just come over to this, click on it, and it will show you Tarsis owned. This name is very important. Okay. As this training continues, if you are with us, I will show you why this name is very, very important. But let me just show you one example to see how the name is very, very important. Maybe I want to write another formula now, or I want to increment all these tasks that is owned. Increment everybody at once. Maybe there's an addition of tasks to maybe 2% or 1% or just one. You can easily come over here and click equals to. Pick your equals to and use the name Tarsis owned. Tarsis. But spelling must be correct. The spelling must be correct. I told you before now that if you make any mistake in spelling, there will always be a problem for it. Tarsis owned. I think it's correct. Okay. Then addition. Added, let's say 1 is added to it. Okay. Oh, the spelling is not correct. Spelling is not correct. Okay. Let's come over here and check if it can give us yes. Put your equals to. Yeah. Then plus 1. Plus 1. You bring it down. So what do you see? 16. So you can also use that. You find out all of them be incremented. Everything immediately be incremented. And it makes your work easy. But this is not the best example to give. But just to show you this. But if you're able to continue with us, later I will show you why giving them a name is very, very important. But know that you can actually give it a name. So see you in our next class as we take you to functions. This is where we call it a day. Have you subscribed? Have you turned on the notification button? Please do that for me and share it to all who need this. Many of us here, many people need this. Share it to them. See you in our next class. Thank you.